Hello, everybody. I have been caught in the web of reality TV recently. And that is because in this year's series of Married at First Sight, I personally know somebody in the show. So I started to watch it so I could watch her experience. And then I got stuck in the web of it. And I'm watching it with the awareness that there is a lot of editing from producers. There is a lot of influenced by producers in terms of who is the villain and who is the hero. And I understand all of that, but I also understand that there are some very real human reactions to circumstances and to issues. And it was fascinating watching last night's episode where somebody who was an audience favourite suddenly came into question in terms of his real intentions and who he really is. And from what I could see, the way that this person reacted to a situation was actually very real. So he was matched up with somebody who had fallen in love with him, and she had told him that she loves him, and he really didn't know what to do with that information because he didn't feel the same way back. And so he started to lean away. He started to distance himself from that situation because he didn't know how else to respond to it. Now, all of a sudden, people who are watching the show are saying that, well, who was this guy? Why was it that all of a sudden he has changed his tune? Why is it that all of a sudden he has become distant from his partner? And this is something that is very real and plays out in the real world, which is one person leans in, and that's the way they deal with complex issues, and one person leans out. And this, in fact, has played out in my very own relationship where I'm the person who, when there's a problem, I like to fix it straight away. I like to solve it straight away. I like to talk about it straight away. Whereas my fiancé Christian, when there's a problem, he likes to process it, he likes to walk away from it, and then he'll come back and talk about it when he's ready. Now, this presented with an issue at the beginning of our relationship because it's like, well, he's running away and I'm running towards. And the more I run towards, the more he runs away. And so it was, first of all, understanding that there is no right and there is no wrong, and that both of us have a different way of dealing with situations, with issues, with problems, with concerns, and they're both to be understood. And so rather than assuming that your way is the right way, which is what I used to do, assume that my way is the right way, I have begun to understand that part of being in a relationship is learning to grow in that relationship, which means understanding that that person's response does not need to be the same way that you would respond to something. So coming together with a higher perspective. So he's learning to open up when he would normally close down, and I'm learning to pause when I normally would talk. And so all of these new skills bring us into a higher, elevated position within the relationship, because there's nothing like a relationship to elevate you to the next level of understanding. And so what I am seeing play out in Married at First Sight is really quite realistic, which is that one of the characters, Dave, is leaning away. One of the characters, Jamie, is leaning in, and they both feel hurt and they both feel misunderstood, and the audience decides who is right and who is wrong, when in fact there is nobody who's right and there's nobody that's wrong. So we need to become more compassionate about the way that people respond. People respond to situations based on their wounding, based on their experience from their childhood, from their teenage years, and everybody is different. We need to learn to become more compassionate, more understanding, more less emotive, less from this is right and this is wrong, and more from what's really going on for that person, and can we have a more compassionate stance towards that person, because everybody is human. There is no definitive bad people and definitive good people. We're all struggling with the same stuff, and we all want to be loved and we all want to be seen. And so rather than getting involved in the this is wrong and this is right and he is bad and she is good, let's just take a step back and say what's really going on for this person, and from that we can learn to grow and evolve within our own relationships, not just with our intimate partners, but with everybody who we have a relationship within our lives. And so what's important is to stay real, to be in truth, to live in truth, and to express what we're really feeling, and at the same time seek to understand what the other person is feeling. So remember, always, 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 always live in truth.